Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I trust that you're doing well. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the price action of Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin setting up for a move sometime in the near future? And if it is, does that move come to the upside or the downside? I'm going to show you some price levels that I'm paying very close attention to. Let's get into it. And here we have Bitcoin up on the daily chart in TradingView. And at the time of recording, we see Bitcoin coming into contact with resistance, which I've got marked out with this purple box. That has a bottom side coming in at 23,980 and a top side coming in around 24,700. And I do like how Bitcoin is approaching this area of resistance. It's doing so in the structure of an uptrend. We see a higher low in price action here, higher high, higher low right here, higher high, shallow pullback, higher low, and now Bitcoin is hitting resistance once again. On the last analysis, that's exactly what we were looking for. We were hoping that Bitcoin would pull back in this area here, but ultimately lead to a higher low. And we got that on this candle right here. And I was mentioning that if Bitcoin is able to do that, it's likely going to attack resistance once again. In the past, we saw resistance get hit right here, stabbed by several wicks, as well as back here. And every single time Bitcoin is sold off from that level, the bulls have stepped in sooner and sooner. So that is implying some short-term strength right now. So overall, looking pretty good as we come up against resistance once again. I tend to think that Bitcoin is setting up for a significant move sometime soon. Very hard to time these kinds of things, but it would not surprise me if we see that move come sometime this week, maybe towards the end of the week, or even early next week. And what I'm looking for here, if this move is to come to the upside, I'm looking for Bitcoin to break through this resistance. I'd like to see some candles begin to close up above that. I want to see that coming in on volume. And then, of course, I want to see this level held as support. So if price action starts to break up above, wants to back test that as support, totally fine with that. As long as it flips that former resistance into future support. If Bitcoin is able to meet those conditions, then I think Bitcoin's going to give us another leg up in this overall bear market rally, and it could be quite significant. We could see price action reaching all the way to the deep 28,000s, maybe 29,000, somewhere around there. And if we come over to the CME chart, we do see that there's a gap around that level. So maybe Bitcoin's setting up for a bit of a gap fill here. But remember, if we do see Bitcoin get up to around those levels, and let's say it gets there, rejects from there, rolls over, it's still a lower high in the context of this overall macro downtrend. So we wouldn't necessarily be undoing that downtrend at that point in time. So that's worth considering if and when price action gets there. But of course, I like to take things level by level and simply assess the price action if and when it reaches for those levels. Now, I think the idea of upside begins to fall apart if Bitcoin, first of all, rejects from resistance here and starts taking out some of these pivot points that it's been building along the way. So if it starts to drop down below this pivot point here, coming in at about 22,488, then likely that's going to initiate a test down to this pivot point here. And this is a very obvious one. And I marked it with this purple box, which has a top side coming in at 21,278, bottom side coming in at 20,744. If Bitcoin, for whatever reason, starts skating down there, starts closing below those levels, then it's very likely it's going to come down and swipe the bottom side of this range, which I've marked out with this horizontal here, coming in at 18,670. So it'd be fair to say that if those conditions get met, we're likely to see Bitcoin down around the bottom side of that range. I'm not sure if it would necessarily have the gas to break it at that point in time, likely be somewhat of a bounce off that area. Of course, we'll look at that if and when price action gets down there, but that's what I'd be looking for, first of all, a break of structure would be signaling to me that maybe the significant move comes to the downside. But if Bitcoin keeps this up and keeps grinding out this area right here, it's becoming more and more probable that's going to break through. Of course, I'm happy to wait for that condition. I don't have a crystal ball. That's the whole reason why I put these conditions in place. And I'm always willing to look at the downside of things as well, because I'm going to be wrong from time to time, and it's more important for me to be able to manage my risk for the times that I am wrong versus trying to be right all the time. It's more about capital preservation. If the market reveals itself to me and shows me a nice clear breakout right here, then right on. I'm happy just to ride that momentum to the upside if and when that time comes. But we're at a very critical level here for another leg up in this bear market, and I think it's coming sometime soon. So let's see if Bitcoin can meet those conditions. Down here on the momentum, we see the RSI is it's pointing to the upside, has lots of room to run. And there's no signal here, but I do like the posturing of that. I mean, if the bulls push through here on good volume, the RSI's got a lot of room to run to the upside. Down here in the stochastic, we do see it trying to find support at the edge of the bullish control at the edge of the bullish control zone here. We're seeing a potential fresh cross to the upside, which is another good look for this. However, in fairness, that has not confirmed itself just yet. At the time of recording, this candle still has 4 hours to go. So technically speaking, that is not confirmed until this daily candle body closes. And it's going to have to close around these levels here to see a fresh cross come to the upside. But again, just another point on the board for the bulls as Bitcoin looks to make an attempt on this resistance here. So, to recap, we're looking for a candle body closure above that. We want to see a little bit of volume coming in behind that as well. That would be nice. Nice little ingredient there. Then we want to see that area get flipped into support. So getting rid of this form of resistance. And then I think it becomes very probable for another leg up in this overall bear market rally. Anyways, before I let you guys go, if you don't have TradingView already, you used to be able to use TradingView for free, and you might still be able to. I know that I used TradingView for free for the longest time. But at the very least, if you can't use it for free, they probably have a free, at least a trial for it. So I'm going to leave a link for this in the description of this video, as well as in the pinned comment. Feel free to sign up and use the free version or whatever they're offering at this point in time. And then you can follow along with these videos or whoever else you're watching on YouTube as well. Anyways, thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video, everyone. Looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Until I do, have yourself a powerful day.